I'm in a junkyard and I wanted to make a video for this Jeep Grand Cherokee, and not sure about the years 2000. We'll see perhaps later on. This one appears to be perhaps a higher trim. Does it say V8? Many of these were sold in V8 version. Sorry about the sunshine, it's kind of not from the right angle. Many of these were sold with a V8 version, and we'll still see them in 2020, almost 2022, driving down the road. As a matter of fact, let's perhaps first have a small look at the engine bay. I did notice that this has kind of, I'm not sure what the name for this are, but you don't have to put that stick, which makes it more well, actually it's more expensive to put these hinges for your hood instead of a stick. That's why perhaps it was a more expensive car too. If anyone can tell me, if I would try to look in there, does it look like a V8? I don't know, it does look like a V engine, and I know there were straight 6 cylinders, the 4-liter ones. Perhaps it's a V8, perhaps, if anyone can tell for sure. Let's just hop inside because it's the cabin rather than the engine bay that I found interesting. I do like the shape of this. I'll show you in a moment the Cherokee model, the less expensive model of Jeep. To compare the lines, this one had a slightly roundish lines on the corners, but it's the same design as the smaller brother basically, and I think it's the perfect design. I have on my channel, actually I did shoot just today videos with Honda, and yeah, Honda from the 90s, the same type of design, squarish, but very balanced, very balanced. The how to say this, the balance between the front lines, the line of the door, everything gets in balance. It makes sense. It's like something put together really well. Like the engineers were really thought about each angle, each length of the frame and stuff. Sorry, junkyard. So that's why I'm filming these cars, because I think that era in the 90s, perhaps even early 2000s, where we had the best car designers. Not these cars doesn't mean these cars were aging that well, but I think this car could very nicely make a very nice looking car even in 2020. But what I mean is that the designers in those times were very skilled, very professional, very dedicated. They really care about this. Look at this kind of, again, I believe this is going to be a higher trim for the this model. You will have this nice light when you open the door. Very interesting. I like this because it shows your car from the cars coming behind, if you are on the side of the road, so they pay attention, but also makes your light for your feet, so you know where to put your feet. A little bit ripped seats, but the quality of the seat, this leather, I do like black and tan interiors for some reasons. Maybe because some Porsche in the 1911 Porsche, these seats is going to be electrical, so I cannot adjust backwards a little bit. You can tell who was the owner, perhaps Russian. Yeah, I say that I do like this tan and black color. You can find them in other cars. I believe BMW also had them, but it's perhaps from the Porsche from the 80s who had this combination of colors, but also some Ferrari. This was a very interesting combination in the 80s, perhaps even 90s. Some cars will have a different shade of tan. But it always, I feel like this one looks a little bit darker, but it does make, it's obviously very personal taste. It does make for a very nice combination. Oh, we got a little bit of things coming down from there. Very nice combination. It's not too dark. I don't like full dark cars. I know there are people who really like the full black interior and stuff because it perhaps looks more higher end or more sporty, but I do like a little bit of light in cars, not too dark. So this combination, it's what I would choose for myself. Actually, I even had it in a Volvo, which I no longer have, but the Volvo had a tan dash, which was very bad with the color windshield reflection, and this is the same on Porsche was the big SUV, Porsche first generation, who had full tan interior. The reflection on dashboards was horrific, so pay attention when you buy a car with light dashboard colors. Anyhow, the dashboard is very simple on this car. We are in Canada, so it's going to be kilometers. I don't have a reading. This odometer is electronic, so it's not lit up, but we do have, is there anyone? I think it's my brain is frozen up right now. It's winter time. No, I cannot remember. There's a show which I do recommend you guys check it out on YouTube. Many episodes with retro cars. They do complain about not having a battery voltage meter and oil pressure meter. So this one is going to have oil pressure meter. Look at this, yay! So no complaints about that thing. Coolant temperature, but also battery voltage meter. Very interesting, very good. This one, I don't know why they dropped this, because our batteries, as they get old, they still crank very well the car, but the voltage gets lower, and actually it's forcing the alternator to put all the time full voltage to try to recharge the battery, but the battery doesn't no longer recharge, so it's wearing off the alternator. You can even burn the alternator regulator. Wow, very nice. Looks like a window mirror switch on the dash. Very interesting, nicely moving. The dash, it's a little bit looks like I would say the Chevrolet, the Chevy cars, even though this is a Chrysler. I'm not a big fan of this kind of buttons, roundish buttons, not very designed, good looking. Each its taste, I guess, but look at the treble here. Perhaps there's Infinity Gold saying there, so it was more equipped, a more equipped model. So the dash is nice looking, but I feel like in the smaller brother Cherokee it looked even better. But the car is very spacious. It's good. It's a good design of how far each element is from the driver and from the passengers. That's very impressive. Very impressive. Something you don't longer find these days. Seats. I'm not sitting. I would say it's not the highest seating. In a minivan will sit higher, but I find it rather comfortable. And also I have to say that this is an old worn out seat, so it starts to sag and stuff like this. Very comfortable seat, very comfortable, very soft, very supporting on the lower back. Not much support on the bolsters here, but it's soft and it's comfy. You feel like it's sitting in a sofa. Look at the rear seats, very nice looking. I expect them to be just as comfy. There, I want to say that there was, looks like a very digital radio here, so it kind of has two buttons, but I don't see the display, but it definitely looks like it was digital something. Perhaps impressive back in the days. Lastly, I'd like to look at these door handles. Wow, you can pull a car with these door handles. This is a real door handle, although it's really squarish and it kind of hurts your hand. It's too thin, but it's very strong, very solid. If you have a car crash, you can pull on the handle and get out of it. So these rear seats, I want to show that they do recline fairly easily. Just pull and goes like that, and then the back seat would be somewhere to unlock, I guess. No, I cannot unlock it. I don't know where to unlock this thing. So I don't think I can show you, but it comes down and flat like this and makes the trunk real big. Very convenient and very easy to flip back and make a ton of space. I cannot open the trunk, I think. No, it doesn't open, but square, nice, And in my opinion, this kind of design never gets too old. It gets old, but not too old. It will always stay there. You see, I have another Grand Cherokee here, which is a later model. This one, I'm not a big fan of it. It doesn't tell me much. Yes, it's a Jeep, I understand that, but it doesn't say the same thing as this one says, even though this one is, I guess, 5-10 years older. Okay, let me just show you the other smaller brother Jeep to compare them. So this is going to be from about the same time. This is the Jeep Cherokee, not Grand, is the lower, if you want the lower model. This one happens to be the sport version. Very square, very iconic looking, one of the most iconic looking cars, I think, especially for North Americans. You could see this in the movies. It was just a car that would, I don't know, it tells you something. It tells you something. It's very square. People are going to disagree. They say, oh, it's not round like this one, but it tells you something. That the design, the aesthetics of the car, just the car makers, the car designers just could not repeat this ever since. So in the last 30 years or so, maybe that will happen in the future, I don't know, but this was just one of a kind, one of a time design. Show a bit the interior. I'm not going to sit into this guy. It looks a little bit like the other one. It's about the same idea, the same seats. You can see the way they flip back in some place. Okay, what I know is that this one had a very old prehistoric, if you can say that, steering system. So it's, I'm not sure what the name for this is, like with those two bars, but it was loose. So on the road you would always kept correcting the steering, basically to keep the cars driving straight. Not pleasant to drive from that point of view, but otherwise good, solid, reliable car. I guess this one is going to be the 4-liter. Let's see if I can try this, do it one hand. 4-liter. Yes, this is the inline 4-liter 6-cylinder, not a V6 but a 6-cylinder engine, a strong engine that basically was just another success in engine design, in my opinion. Okay, thanks for watching.